There are 4 attitudes of magic which equate to the 4 outer planets in astrology, if we include Chiron. So Chiron, Uranus, Neptune and Pluto have descriptions of their energy which fit really nicely with 4 attitudes of mind associated with magic. And we have to remember that magic is all about attitude of mind. All the other peripheral stuff supports that, but primarily we're talking about the power of mind. And let's look at those 4 planets and how they impact upon our astrological consciousness on the one hand and our magical capability on the other. Chiron, recently discovered, has shifted our awareness of what astrology is and what it can do. And its teaching is basically that we are all wounded psychologically, and when we have discovered what that wound is and changed our approach and our attitude and our perception of that wound, then we are actually healed of that wound and capable of teaching others how to heal theirs. That's the essential message of Chiron. So it's mainly about being able to shift our perception. If you see a situation as being negative, look at it differently. The negativity that you see, the badness, the strife, the trouble, the anxiety, that's coming from you. You're putting that onto the situation. So shift that, change that. If you're the author of this situation, then rewrite the script. Uranus as an astrological energy has to do with electricity, the passage of energy from positive to negative, negative to positive, that kind of interaction that's energy itself and expressed on the level of mind. This creates a startling level of intelligence. And that intelligence can turn information into knowledge. So one aspect of magic is to know things, to read lots and lots of stuff, to discriminate between the good stuff and the bad stuff, to see how correspondences can be made between things, to see the extent to which traditional teachings work for you and the extent to which you have to moderate, modify, change them to work. Which blend of various teachings is suitable for you. A lot of people are more intellectual and they want to study the tree of life, and they want to study astrology, and they want to study the principles, the sacred principles of magic, and they have interpretations and so on. And a lot of people are more artistic, and they read tarot cards and they interpret the Sabian symbols in a special way and so on. And a lot of people are just absolutely psychic, and they can read tea leaves and so on. So we've got these different ways of being intelligent, but Uranus is what gives you that sense of knowing enough in a situation to rework its reality even. Neptune is associated with glamour, illusion, creating the effect in the mind of another person that what they're seeing is what you want them to see. It's different from what is. That's what glamour is all about. So Neptune is all about the mastery, really, of the use of glamour. Excuse me. And there are many different types of glamour. It's not just putting on clothes and lipstick and so on to make you look sexy. Sex is, of course, an extraordinarily powerful magic, but it's not the only one. Knowledge is. So creating the glamour of somebody who knows things by your tone of voice and your sort of peaceful presentation of ideas or excitement and so on. So you can present your voice in such a way to indicate intelligence, or you can have the power of position, which is backed up by the glamour of wearing the right clothes and having the right haircut and saying the right buzzwords and having documents and you know, there are all sorts of ways of being glamorous, and it's just basically learning how to create the illusion that you are what you'd like to be. And to some extent that's false, but to some extent that's authentic. It's just known that unless you can play the game, you're not a major player in a certain field of influence. If I turned up to a business meeting with a duffel bag rather than a briefcase, they would say, okay, yeah, he's that kind of guy. And if I was wearing a jacket and trousers instead of a suit, a rich suit, then okay, you know, they would place me, and I would have to know the game by tying in with the glamour of the game. And it's if everyone who's playing a game knows it's a game, then it's authentic, isn't it? It's only if you're really deceiving someone and trying to tell a lie that you have to look very carefully to see whether or not you're telling yourself a lie as well. Now, the magic of Pluto has to do with magnetism, pure magnetism, and the charisma that goes with that. It's the absolute life force. Pluto is the functionality of change, that everything is different now than it was a moment ago, and will be different in a moment's time. There's absolutely no continuity of anything but change. There's no stability. And being able to live with that is the Pluto experience, come what may. Most people experience Pluto as too much. And that's only because they can't trust that there's something to bring out in every situation within you. And if you have faith that life is simply oceanic, it's just the ups and downs of tides of change, and there's no moment exactly the same as the previous one. That's the deal. Then you learn to surf, you know, if we're actually on the tides of change, we have to surf them. And that's the Pluto experience. Just ride with it. And sometimes it goes up and sometimes it goes down. And when it goes up, don't get too haughty. When it goes down, don't get too despondent. Just wait for the next change in tide. That's Pluto consciousness. And to bring that to bear on the magical situation means that you're fearless. You have no doubts that you've got all that it takes to deal with whatever comes up. And you project that sense of confidence, fearless self-confidence. Faith, it's the same thing. You have faith that reality is fine. You're not in danger ever. Things are always going to be better in the future. You know, you're an optimist. And Pluto is the energy of that, really. It's not really spoken in that way very much because mostly people fear Pluto. And if you're fearful, then don't practice magic. Magic is not for anyone who has fear left within their system. So if you are anxious or you're lacking in faith, it's not for you, this. But for those of us who are actually confident and have strong faith that come what may, however bad it might look, come what may, it'll be okay in the end, that kind of confidence, then yeah, okay, that's Pluto confidence. And in other words, whatever you do, the result will be fine. Whatever the result is, you're not attached to the result. That level of detachment is extraordinarily powerful.